Hello everyone, my name is the Jurassic Insider and welcome back to Jurassic World, the game. So, here's the deal right now. There is something I need to talk to you guys about, and just in general I need to discuss about, and I think it's kind of important. And that's of course with the Dodo Collectors Exchange, the Dodo CE. It's out, and it's been out for about 2 days or so ever since the compy tournament ended. This whole shenanigan started, and there is a high chance that this is going to cause even more eruption in the community than the compy tournament did, and that was already very controversial. Now, I know what your first reaction is. Another person complaining about Modern Jam City and Jurassic World the game, blah, blah, blah. Who needs it? And I get where you're coming from. I feel like most people already know what the problem with most things in this game are. It's too hard, it takes too much time, blah, blah, blah. We know it. Who needs it? However, I really want to touch on not just how much time and how basically lazy the game is kind of being with these kind of things, but also I just want to touch on how that is going to impact the longevity of Jurassic World, the game as a whole. So, of course, the Dodo CE has a very large problem, and that is exactly how you unlock it. Now, the idea of the Collector's Exchange itself has proved time and time again that it is broken. The idea of the Collector's Exchange is to get creatures that you don't own or possibly want more of, and in order to unlock creatures that you may not have unlocked already. Ever since we got Blue, every single star creature had to come from the season pass, and you could only get a maximum of maybe 7 copies if you paid $40 for a Grand Premium bundle, and in most cases you didn't even have enough to get 8. So really, it wasn't very feasible, it wasn't a guaranteed method. Finally, though, they did allow us to unlock star creatures, but through the Collector's Exchange. However, the rate they were doing this was crazy fast, meaning you would have to unlock a lot of things. And these weren't easy unlocks either. These were unlocks that were painfully expensive and required maxed versions of other tournament creatures that take just as much DNA to get maxed themselves. Now, of course, if you want to unlock something, yes, that definitely takes a lot more effort. But that already kind of is detrimental in the long run if you're paying for something to be unlocked, just unlocked from level 0, and you still have to spend DNA to get it to a higher level or maxed, and you're sacrificing other max creatures that you did tournaments for, or maybe even other collectors exchange for. And that's kind of where my biggest problem with the CE comes in. The cycle of the CE is so monotonous and terrible. Take Dodo, for example, here. Both the Enosaurus and Uriops are both required maxed in order to get the Dodo. And I think where you see where a lot of this problem is coming from. Essentially, if you do want to unlock Dodo, you basically have to be a time traveler or get really lucky. You either have to have gotten Enosaurus and Uriops unlocked from the get-go, by the way, neither of which have hybrids, or you would have had to do the Collector's Exchange for both creatures, which did come out right before this, and once again was that insanely expensive route that I told you about earlier, where you have to sacrifice max tournament creatures, a lot of other very difficult to get creatures. And yes, they have been doing creatures for the most part that you've unlocked in tournaments. Like, I mean, you can see it right here with Gorgosaurus. They are doing, well, Gorgosaurus is gone, I guess. But Gorgosaurus, they were doing, not Zalmaxes, what was it called? Edmontosaurus, yeah, they did level 30 Edmontosaurus, and that was whatever, okay? It was fine, you know, we can live with it, probably. Wasn't a huge deal. But again, that starts to start the cycle where once again, you had to have done the Edmontosaurus tournament, and you would have had to just do it on a whim. You know, you would have had to do it with the mindset that, okay, this is going to be in some collector's exchange. Whose collector's exchange? I have no clue. It could be freaking Gorgosaurus, or it could be like something other, you know, any other creature in the game, basically, any other tournament creature. I got Gorgosaurus unlocked like last year. So I've had it unlocked for a while, and that was all good and great and whatever. I did the Edmontosaurus tournament for hoping that maybe it will be part of some collector's exchange, maybe Dodo, because I'm actually doing that one. Nope, it's just two creatures that were exclusively unlocked through the collector's exchange, unless you did the tournament, both of these creatures got tournaments like ages ago, years ago. Again, Jam City, Ludia, whoever owns this game, what exactly is the end goal? What is the solution? I'll give you the answer. It's to get you to play this freaking game for hours. What is the one way, guaranteed now, without going back in time, what is the only way to get these creatures and to get the max and then to get Dodo unlocked finally? Well, thankfully for you, you have a variety of options. Let's go through them, okay? From worst to best. First of all, if you absolutely are crazy, you can spend 20,000 bucks on a level 10. That means you have to spend 320,000 bucks in total to get both of them maxed out. No one has that. I'm almost like 100% positive that there is no one who has that who has not hacked the game. If you do, that's because you have literally unlocked everything and you've been playing this game for years. Nobody has that, okay? I'm just telling you straight up. So that's not very feasible, okay? Your other option, pay for packs. No, how about no? And finally, your last option is with the Gyrosphere. So basically, there is a Gyrosphere option with the Dodo Gyrosphere, which again is kind of intended for this. It's basically showing, hey, the Dodo you really want? Here it is. This is how you get it. No, the Dodo pack does not indeed have the Dodo in it. It has a 40% chance of getting Uriops and Enosaurus combined. So 20% for each. Okay, that's fine. You think? Okay. No, it's not. It costs 250 bucks, and you have a 40% chance of getting one or the other. So let's do a little bit of math here, okay? And this isn't like perfect math or anything. This is gonna have like big ranges, just because, I can't really exactly pinpoint anything because I haven't done it yet, and spoiler alert, probably won't do it. Factoring in bucks, okay? If you have a 40% chance to get either, you need 16 creatures in total. Just bucks alone, at the minimum, is gonna cost you 4,000 bucks, okay? And that's considering that if you get Enosaurus and Uriops exactly 8 times each, which is not going to happen, okay? So for 40% of that, you're basically looking at around 10,000 bucks at the minimum, I would say. Or at least, around the range of what you could expect. I would say 10,000 to 12,000 bucks, okay? And that's not including the repeats you may get. You may get, 2 extra Enosaurs and, 2 less Uriops than you need. All of that is a possibility. That's just looking at the bare bones statistics. Technically, the actual minimum, though, would be like about 10,000, you could say. Which is already a lot. For me, it's a lot. Again, it's possible for me to do it. It's not impossible. That's not the lowest I've been in terms of bucks. But just thinking about the general audience, even high-level players, bucks they're always going to come and go. They're not a resource that are always going to stay the same. They're going to come and go. And people who have been already spending their bucks on all the other things that Ludi has been throwing at them, if they want to unlock Troodon, Gorgosaurus, any of those, if they've been trying to do those, that probably already cost them so many bucks. My friend Bonnie, he's like level 99. He's maxed out. He's rich as heck. He's so good at the game. He has like 12,000 bucks right now. So how is he supposed to afford that if he doesn't already have Enosaurus and Uriops unlocked? Again, it's just so stupid. It's such a stupid concept to have everything revolve around bucks. And that isn't the worst part. Oh, no. You thought bucks was the bad part. No. The worst part is that this event ends in 5 days, right? Okay, sounds good enough. How much time do you think this is going to take? I reached out to Planet on Discord, and he's like basically a Jurassic World game wizard. And I asked him, because he's already starting to do these because he doesn't have either one unlocked from what I can tell. And he says that he's done about like 8 of these or so, and he's been doing them all day. Which is kind of crazy if you ask me. Especially since each one of these battles has flocks, because that's kind of how this tournament is set up, is that the opponents have flocks, you have flocks. So that makes it really drag on for like a very, very long time. Not to mention, you're not guaranteed to win. By the way, the buck count doesn't even include whether you win or not. You might not even win, and then you lose $250. You're down $250, and that's obviously not very good. So if you take into account all of that, I would say each battle, at the very least, takes you 30 minutes. At the very, very least. And a normal Gyrosphere event, I could say, with how many battles does it have? I think it has 5 battles, right? A normal Gyrosphere event with 5 battles could probably take you like 20 minutes if you really grind it out. But this one, easily 30 minutes at the minimum. For most players, I'd say it'd be upwards of 40 minutes. Which is, either way, just a crazy amount of time to spend in an event. It's really because those flocks really inflate it. But say you do it, you're going to have to spend so much time doing it. Let's say 30 minutes, okay? The minimum 30 minutes. If we looked at our previous amount of rounds, it will take you, again, about like 36 rounds if you get like decently lucky. You know, the normal range, but also you'd have to get pretty lucky. If we do the math here, again, don't take this as the guaranteed, okay? Some people will be a lot better at it. Some people will take less than 30 minutes. Some people will get a lot more lucky, you know? Or maybe it just turns out that, like, the percentages aren't exactly the way they say they are. But from everything I've done, okay? If you can just trust the numbers I have as the general range, 18 hours. That is the total amount of time it will take, from what I can tell you. That is obviously crazy, especially in the context of the 5 days you have left. Again, it's doable. It's completely feasible. But I know for one that I would go completely mad if I tried to do that. Basically, if you include today, which actually by the time this episode comes out, it will be like tomorrow. So 4 days, in fact, you would have to do in each day like 4 hours. 4 hours, definitely. For sure. I would almost guarantee it. And that's if you just want to split it out perfectly. So 4 hours of doing a Gyrosphere just sounds insane, man. It just sounds ridiculous. Whenever you're just watching your bucks drain, it's going to be maddening. Again, and that's just like a very, very like normal in the middle estimate, not even considering, again, all those other factors. There's so much to it that can make it so much longer than it already is. So 18 hours altogether, it's just ridiculous, okay? It's stupid in my opinion, and I know people will still do it. I know people probably already have some Enosaurs and have Uriops. You know, they probably have a couple of those already. And if that's the case, great for them. If you haven't unlocked, even better. But how much of a majority is that? Not very much. This is definitely less accessible to the Compy tournament, I can tell you that for sure. Because at least there, even if you didn't have a ton of mods, you could definitely stick it out and spend a lot. Here is not just held back by spending, it's held back by time because it's such a heavy time burden that it's just ridiculous. This right here is ridiculous in my opinion. I do not think there is any reason that it should be this hard and this time consuming above all to unlock Dodo. However, the biggest caveat is that it's going to likely be required to get Draco Navinator, which is a tournament creature that's going to be fused to make Compsovinator, which is the flock hybrid coming to the game soon, which is going to be so desirable. And having that in the game with the requirement being a Dodo of any level is just stupid in my opinion. I just can't see that coming. I feel like that's just so much on like a different level of stupidity to have this be the requirement here. Again, it continues that cycle that we've been talking about. The Enosaurus and the Uriops, they had a creature before then that you needed to unlock them. And they were probably from previous tournaments. So then you would use those tournaments to get those creatures to unlock Dodo. Now to unlock Draco Navinator, which is, again, just going to be boiled into DNA to make the freaking Compsovinator. That's just the cycle, the circle of just getting creatures to get creatures. Do you enjoy anything along the way? No, man, you're not enjoying it, especially if you didn't unlock Enosaur in the whatever the hell the other one's called, the normal way, and you have to do the Gyrosphere now. That's not enjoyable in any way. The game isn't meant to be played like that. Video games in general are not meant to be played by doing the same thing over and over again. It just feels like a way to save resources and not have to do as much work on the game developer's part. in order to just, have the players do the same thing over and over again because they know some people will do it. They know some people will do it. They'll probably run out of bucks. Maybe if they're really lucky, somebody will run out of resources and then they'll buy, like 50,000 or so bucks or 5,000. I don't even know. Who knows? Who knows what lengths people go to? I know I've gone through some drastic lengths whenever I've lost stuff, even if it isn't directly related to buying something in game. It's always does lead to something disastrous. And essentially the moral of this whole story is that you have to do every single tournament to keep up nowadays. And that's just not feasible. I mean, especially if it's a creature I do not care about. Not to mention, you get those creatures just to throw them away for something else, which you'll honestly, there's like a 70% chance that you'll throw that away to get something else. What's the point of getting all these cool creatures if you're just gonna boil them up, And at least, I'm going to say this, but in the old days, you could just get a creature and that would be the end of it. You can make it into a hybrid, which is your own choice. You aren't held bound by any time restrictions or, by any limitations, or you're not going to be worried about being behind because it was on your own decision. It was on your own conscience whether you were going to do that in that moment or if you're going to wait. You could always wait at any point. And really, this is comparable to really one big event, and that is the original tournaments back in 2015 with the Mosasaurus tournament. Whenever that came out, and whenever the early tournaments were rolling out, those were definitely subject of a lot of controversy to people who couldn't participate in those and couldn't, really get into those. Nowadays, it's a lot easier for lower level players to get into tournaments because, they made it set to where, it's really matched to your game level. And also, we have a lot more quantity nowadays. We have more hybrids and more creatures in general, more super hybrids. So we have a lot more creatures to actually use in different leagues in the tournament. Back then, it was not like that. It was really more about quality over quantity. However, even if tournaments were really made for the upper echelon of players, things really changed whenever they recycled the tournaments. So now players who had, weren't allowed to unlock stuff or weren't able to unlock stuff like a year ago can now unlock it now and, get the creatures and whatnot and then finally have them. Yes, there was for like a year or so, like a time element, there was that question of, am I going to be able to unlock this? However, once, we learned that we could unlock it over and over again and those tournaments and stuff will recycle, then it will all be good. You can always get those creatures again and you can keep up with the new stuff. That was the perfect medium ground that the game finally decided to make the decision to cover, to get to. And that was really great. That, again, is the optimum way to do it. But here, there's no question of that because both new tournament creatures and old tournament creatures are being recycled in the collector's exchange. And it just makes for a very hectic experience. Not to mention, a lot of them are also like this, where, you would just sacrifice like level 10 legendaries to get one copy of a tournament creature, which, again, doesn't, have any longevity at all. It's just sort of like you get one creature and that's sort of it. And that just introduces a lot into the mix. It just makes it all very complicated. And that's how it is with every single one of these tournament unlock. And you know what the root cause of it is? The root cause of it, in my opinion, is one big thing that I hate about this game nowadays. Okay? It's that we have too many damn creatures. We have so many tournament creatures in this game. So many more than we should have. I honestly do think this is a massive problem. And we saw with Jurassic Park Builder. If you guys remember, with Jurassic Park Builder, towards the end of the game's lifespan, there were so many of these tournament creatures and legendaries, or whatever they call them, golds. Because that's what they wanted to release, because the tournaments, once again, took up a lot of players' time, and a lot of people wanted to do them, so of course they did that. Nobody cared about the regular creatures anymore. And that's exactly what's going on here. That's exactly what's happening, is all of these tournament creatures just keep adding and adding and adding, and they're just becoming so meaningless now. A lot of them don't get hybrids at a fast enough pace, and the ones that they do, again, they're thrown out just to make the hybrid because they're thrown out during, like, the collector's exchange. All these creatures, just you get them from a tournament, and then they eventually go through a cycling process, and all you're left with is negative amount of bucks, how many ever bucks it is, because you're just fusing these creatures, and then you're just throwing them away for just an unlock, just to buy something with more DNA. It's just such a stupid process, honestly. That's just full of many, so many problems that it's just stupid. And all of these creatures, it's just getting overbearing. It really is. And I know what, this other solution sounds like, oh, stop adding creatures. Wow, good job, Jurassic Insider. What a great idea. But no, that's not the solution, and I know that. Really, this game needs something different. It needs a lightning in a bottle idea, like whenever the aquatic creatures were added, which wasn't really original since the JPB had it already, but adding those aquatic creatures was an amazing move that really added something special. Adding hybrids was special. Adding really revolutionary things other than just adding new creatures is something special, and it adds an element to the game. And the key is to not lock it behind strenuous processes that make you have to do every single thing. Otherwise, you question whether you're going to be able to keep up. It's like one of the things I love about this game, honestly. I love for so long is that you were never truly behind. You could join at any point, and you weren't really going to miss anything. The only really quote-unquote exclusive thing would be like the statues, like some of the exclusive like decorations. Well, whatever. But like the fact that now that's starting to become a problem with the actual creatures is a really, really huge problem in my opinion. I don't know when Dodo's coming back. I don't know when any other flock is coming back. And really having a herbivore flock is so advantageous. Having extra flocks in general is so advantageous. The game realizes that they don't care. And, now there's like a 50-50 shot it's going to be part of the Draconavinator CE. And if it is, that's on the game, man. Because honestly, I'm not doing this. I'm not spending, how many hours did I even say? 18 hours on the Dodo thing. I'm not watching all my bucks that I've spent so much time and, energy trying to get just go down the drain. I'm not in for it because I want to have fun. That's all I want, man. That's all I want is I want to have fun. I want to make videos. I want to get cool creatures that actually are worth it and don't just get put down the drain through the ladder throughout the cycle and then just, get recycled to something you finally want and then you just don't even feel anything once you have it. That's not very fun to me. That's not rewarding to me at all, even if I worked really hard for a creature that I really wanted, like getting Draconavinator. If I did, do all of this, and then I got the Dodo, and then they asked for it in the Draconavinator CE, I got it, and then I made the flipping hybrid after all of that, I'm not going to care anymore. I'm really not. It's probably an amazing hybrid. Dodo's probably amazing to have. But I can live without it. I mean, especially since all these players before now lived without flocks. Flocks being unlocked in particular. So I could probably live without them too. It'll be a lot less fun. It'll be a lot less... I feel a little bit of that regret in me. But at least I'll know that I had time to do other stuff than play this game for 18 hours to get one creature, or two creatures technically, maxed. Just to get one creature, lose both of those, and then everything else is gone. That's all there is to it, man. And that's all it's going to be for a while now. And honestly, if they keep this up, people will only get more mad. You can't ask people to do every tournament, man. You can't. Considering how long they take, it's just not possible. You can't ask them to. And most of all, you cannot ask them to fuse stuff in like a week, expect them to get creatures maxed, and then, again, put them down the drain just to get something else. And then be like, oh, okay, that's it. Good job. You get this creature now. Where do the bucks come from? Exactly. Where can we get the bucks back, maybe? In some way? Events? There's tournaments. Tournaments give you $500 sometimes. It's not even like guaranteed anymore. Clash of Tides, you get bucks. Oh wow, okay, that's great. Nowhere. You don't get bucks anywhere. You get them from random small sources every now and then. Otherwise, you save up, and whenever you lose some, you become sad. That's how it is. And this is the worst way to lose bucks in the entire game. By far, it doesn't work. Collector's Exchange is broken on so many levels, and it will continue to get worse if they keep up this cycle of just, putting creatures in the cycle where you just recycle them over and over again. and to get new stuff, it's not worth it, man. Especially since all these things have like the same value basically. Like, in what world is two max tournament creatures by themselves, ignoring the super rares? In what world is that equivalent to like a dodo? To like one tournament creature, even if it's a flock? In what world is that equivalent? I don't know. It's just not worth it, man. Now, if you ask me for my solution probably isn't foolproof, to be honest. And, again, like, I'm allowed to complain, as a fan. I'm allowed to complain as a viewer, as a fan, whatever it may be, as a player. And, it's just like, I wouldn't be complaining if it wasn't for a reason. If I didn't actually feel the effects, or I didn't see other people feeling the effects primarily. I feel all of that, and I get why some people aren't too fussed about it, but I see 100% why so many other people are. People deserve to be angry whenever they have the right. And, I would completely understand people just, like, even quitting the game over stuff like this. Because it's just dumb. It's targeting, like, the mid-level players who have to spend all their time doing these tournaments or whatever. And really the solution, honestly, is to slow down on the tournament creatures, come up with something revolutionary, come up with something really interesting, add a new way to have fun, and just keep that going, honestly. Have something brilliant. Again, slow down the tournament creatures and really find a way to unlock tournament creatures that's actually rewarding rather than feeling strenuous and time-consuming. And I know that's a hard balance to find. I know it is, okay? And I know the solution isn't just to do more tournaments and continue doing tournaments forever. You can do that. It's not going to work. But maybe something that's not just battle-oriented. Maybe something that is really unique and really different and is also just fun. Even if it takes time, at least make it fun. There's nothing fun about a tournament. There's nothing fun about it. There's nothing fun about a Gyrosphere. Truly, there is not. Ask anybody, and they have no fun doing it. Maybe on the occasional chance, again, like how it used to be, doing a tournament or a Gyrosphere would be fun. And for people who want to unlock those creatures just to get them maxed or to make the hybrid, like, that's fine. That should be the only limitation. Adding this extra element of, wow, I have to sacrifice my level 30 version of this creature just to get another creature that I have to buy myself and then wait months to get enough to max it. If I don't want to spend bucks or I don't have VIP, it's just a terrible process. It's a bad idea, and I think the game is worse because of the collector's exchange. It has gotten progressively worse. Yes, I know. You might be thinking the original idea is good in that, oh, we wouldn't have unlocked all the star creatures, or we wouldn't have unlocked all the tournament creatures. If that was actually the intent of the game, believe me, they would have came up with a better solution that wasn't as time intensive. But it's not. It's not the intention of the game to just let you have all of this for fun and to actually allow people to get these in fun and interesting ways. No, it's the intention of getting you to play this game for even longer. And that's just the truth, man. That's just the truth. So, honestly, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think about this. What is your opinion on this crisis? Do you think I'm overinflating it and that it's not that big of a deal? Or do you agree with me fully and you propose a solution or something that you want Ludia to try? Let me know. Because I do know that Ludia, Jam City, whatever, they do like input. They just don't like listening to that input, and they kind of derive the wrong lessons from it. They tend to get desperate, and in turn, they just like don't add interesting enough stuff. The stuff that they add is not incorporated in the best way. They saw that people want to unlock flocks, and that's probably why they did it. But of course, they put the paywall behind it. They put behind all this time that you have to put and invest into it. They did all of that, and here we are. So, yeah, just let me know what you guys think. But overall, that's where I stand on it. I will probably, honestly, at this point, I will not be unlocking Dodo unless if something else pops up to get Enosaurus, which will also be a huge stab in the back to so many players who are doing the Dodo Gyrosphere right now. But whatever, man. Whatever. I'm going to leave it there. If it's required to make Comsobinator, again, that's on the game. I genuinely don't care. I'm going to keep having fun with the parts of the game I like, which are evolving these cool creatures, getting hybrids, doing the fun and interesting events, and doing tournaments to get the creature so I could have the creature. I'm tired of doing this BS where I'm just living in a cycle, getting these creatures, and stressing about, just whether I can unlock the stuff or not. I just want to play the game without a timer. That's all. And I think most people would like that as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and of course, most importantly, leave your comments, leaving your opinions. I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure other people would as well. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Jurassic Insider, signing out. Hello everyone, my name is Jurassic Insider, and welcome back to